Meal plans for weight reduction might be challenging to put together on your own. Of course, you can follow a weight loss diet plan that you find in a magazine or on the internet. However, you never know if the diet plan is scientifically sound. The wisest and safest option is to stick to a plan devised by a professional nutritionist or dietitian. Be sure to watch the video in its entirety to find out the best meal plan to lose fat faster. Choosing a weight loss plan. Knowing how many calories you need to consume each day is crucial before deciding on the finest low-calorie diet plan. The number varies depending on your size, gender, and amount of exercise. A calorie deficit is required to lose weight, which means you must burn more calories than you ingest. Many commercial weight loss programs limit women's daily calorie intake to 1,200 calories. However, if the lady is physically active, the number may be higher. This is calculated based on total daily energy use. For example, you could discover that your daily calorie goal for weight loss is 1,200 calories. However, if you want to exercise and burn an extra 300 calories each day, you may eat 1,500 calories and lose weight. Men have frequently been prescribed a daily calorie intake of 1,500 to 1,800 calories. The quantity of calories a guy should consume is determined by his size and degree of exercise. If you are active, your optimum score may be significantly higher, especially if your profession requires you to be on your feet and engage in frequent deliberate exercise. The body does not always behave like a calculator, and metabolic weight loss adjustments occur during the loss process. So to keep seeing benefits, you'll probably need to modify your calorie deficit over time. You may utilize portion sizes to limit what you eat, rather than weighing and measuring everything to calculate calories. Remove a little from each of your usual portions to cut calories if you already eat a set portion size and maintain your weight. Remove a little more if this does not result in weight reduction. Planning your meal. After you've decided on a meal plan, you'll need to schedule and log your meals. You'll be more likely to stick to your diet if you prepare each meal ahead of time and have things on hand. The meal plan you choose will give you what to eat, but you must still choose when to eat. Is there a specific period during the day when you should eat each meal? Not at all. When it comes to weight reduction, the quantity of calories you consume each day is more important than when you consume them. Of course, this does not negate the importance of meal scheduling. Meals should be spaced no more than 5 hours apart. Then, in between each meal, arrange a light snack. You won't become so hungry that you overeat or make harmful decisions this way. Use your intuition as a guide. Stick to your timetable and listen to your demands. Some of the diets you could follow are the Mediterranean diet. Experts regularly rate the Mediterranean diet, which emphasizes plant foods such as vegetables and fruits, whole grains, legumes, nuts, seeds, pasta, and extra virgin olive oil, as the best way to eat. Although the Mediterranean diet is not designed to be a weight loss regimen, it may be a practical and long-term approach to losing weight and keeping it off. The Mediterranean diet is a flexible eating plan, emphasizing whole foods, primarily plants. Here's an example of what you may eat. Fruits and vegetables constitute a major part of most meals. Extra virgin olive oil, olives, avocados, and almonds are examples of plant-based fats. Pulses, legumes, beans, and peas. Seafood, preferably twice a week. Chicken, eggs, and Greek yogurt are also good sources of protein. Quinoa, oats, millet, and farro are examples of whole grains and pasta, whether refined or whole. Wine is an important part of the Mediterranean diet, and a glass is usually served every meal. Sweets and red meat are consumed less frequently in the Mediterranean diet, despite including everything. These meals are consumed around twice a month for the sake of guiding. The Mediterranean diet includes healthy and effective meals for weight loss. The Mediterranean diet is strong in fiber, and studies show that this nutrient may help with weight loss because of its emphasis on plant foods. Even when participants were not instructed to lower their calorie intake, analysis of evidence from research indicated that fiber intake was connected to weight reduction and improvements in waist circumference. DASH diet. The dietary approaches to stop hypertension, DASH. The diet has continuously been listed as a top diet overall by U.S. News & World Report, which is unsurprising. Unlike fad diets that need stringent calorie or food group limitations with no scientific evidence to back them up, the DASH diet offers simple, adaptable dietary modifications based on sound nutritional guidance. The DASH diet is designed to fulfill SALT needs, which can help people avoid hypertension. This makes it a good diet for persons with high blood pressure or who want to lower their risk of heart disease, and those who may be at risk of type 2 diabetes or who are already managing it. You consume higher amounts of potassium, which is a heart-healthy mineral. You also consume less sodium, which can improve your heart health and lower your blood pressure. The diet focuses on eating heart-healthy foods that you can find in a grocery store. On the DASH diet, you'll eat plenty of fruits, vegetables, whole grains, nuts, seeds, legumes, and low-fat dairy. You'll want to cut back on these foods that can raise your blood pressure. You don't have to eliminate them, just limit them to once a week. Fatty meats, such as red meat and poultry with the skin on. Full-fat dairy, such as whole milk, cream, and butter. Oils that are solid at room temperature, such as coconut and palm oils. High-sugar foods like candy, baked goods, and desserts. High-sugar drinks, such as soda, juice, and sweetened coffee or tea. Because processed and packed foods frequently have the greatest additional salt, not to mention increased sugar, the DASH diet encourages consuming whole and fresh foods. A diet rich in these foods is nutritionally balanced, with plenty of vitamins, minerals, and fiber. Take recipes you already love and make them DASH-friendly by lowering the salt content by skipping the salt shaker and trimming back high-sodium sauces. Adding more veggies and fruit to your recipe. Reducing meat or choosing lean, skinless meats. Replacing butter or solid oils with unsaturated oils like olive, canola, or avocado oil. Swapping processed white bread and grains for whole grains. Mind diet. The latest internet diet doesn't promise to help you lose 15 pounds in 2 weeks or cleanse your body of pollutants. Instead, it claims to lower your chance of Alzheimer's disease substantially and perhaps help you lose weight. According to a recent study, the Mind diet, which is a mix of the Mediterranean and DASH dietary approaches to stop hypertension diets, reduced people's risk of Alzheimer's disease by 53% on average. Mind was recently voted America's most uncomplicated to follow the diet by U.S. News & World Report, which is good news because the study also indicated that the longer participants adhered to the diet, the higher the advantages they received. The Mind diet, which stands for Mediterranean - Intervention for Neurodegenerative Delay, focuses on 10 brain-healthy foods that are included in both the Mediterranean and DASH diets. Leafy greens, vegetables, nuts, berries, beans, whole grains, fish, chicken, olive oil, and wine. Meanwhile, red meat, butter and margarine, cheese, pastries and sweets, and fried or fast meals are prohibited. Low levels of added sugar, saturated and trans fat, and a mix of lean protein, heart and brain-healthy omega-3s, antioxidants, and fiber, as well as low levels of added sugar and saturated and trans fat, decrease inflammation, lowering your risk of dementia. Which diet are you choosing? Following a food plan or calorie count isn't the only way to lose weight. Exercise is recommended for the best results, as it aids in the creation of a calorie deficit that comes not only from limiting food intake, but also, and most importantly, from all of the other benefits of being active, such as reduced disease risks, a healthy metabolism, stronger muscles and bones, a longer lifespan, and a healthier heart and lungs. To fuel your everyday activities and perform at your best mentally and physically, you must consume adequate calories, emphasizing nutrient-dense meals. Therefore, weight reduction that is moderate and consistent is simpler to sustain psychologically as well as physically. Remember that the first time you sit down to plan meals for weight loss, the process will take a bit longer. However, after you've established a method, the process will become second nature, and you may even begin to love it. It feels good to get organized, and it feels even better to achieve your weight reduction objectives. So give yourself enough time to complete the prep activities and become accustomed to your food plan. Let us know which diet you think is the best in the comments.